Hi guys, so I'm going to put a Dell 27 monitor up here next to my Nintendo. My Nintendo's fine, but I just wanted a bigger screen and just an additional screen to work from. So I got the Dell 27 SE2722H. Now this one comes with no audio, there's no audio in this at all, it's just a monitor, a 27-inch monitor. So here's just the quick unboxing of it. It's quite a reasonable size. It comes with the stand, instructions. Instructions were pretty clear, but I ended up not using them. As you'll see later in the video, it is pretty straightforward to connect. It comes with an HDMI cable, one only. There is only one HDMI port. Comes with a power pack. This is a New Zealand power pack. Instructions again. This is just the cover for if you're not, I'm not going to mount it on the wall, so I'm just going to cover the back up with this part. And this is just the parts for the stand, as you can see. So I'll just let this get unboxed. And it's also got cable management, which is quite good. There will only be the two cables. And then this is just the base to hold on to the actual monitor. It is plastic. It's ideal. I mean, I'm not looking for anything fancy. I'm not a gamer. I'm nothing like that. I'm just wanting an extra monitor that I can use. And here is the screen. Now there is the option, it tells you here to attach the monitor while it's in the box. But for actually attaching the stand, it just clicks in. Make sure you click it in the right way. If not, there is a way to remove it, but I didn't actually do that. So as you can see, it's quite sturdy. So you can slip it in and then put it up, but I've got a bad injury on my shoulder, so you'll actually see my husband just doing it the way you would probably do another monitor. Stick it in, tilt it, push it in, there you go. Just a standard base that you would put on a normal computer monitor. Here we go. Here's if you would obviously put that onto your extension on your legs if you want, but I'm not going to do that. The cable's pretty long, which is ideal, but my power point is just at the bottom of my desk, so I didn't really need that. Obviously you don't need to do this if you're putting arms on it, which I'm not going to do. As I say, it just plugs in at the bottom, the HDMI plugs in. This is the HDMI from my Nintendo Switch, so I don't actually need to use the one that it came with. So I've plugged in the power pack here. This is now just the HDMI cable from the Nintendo. So you just plug it into the HDMI port. There is only one HDMI port and one VGA port. That's it. There's no audio, there's no headphone jack, nothing. But there is ways that I use my Nintendo, and you'll see later on. Now the screen does look a bit tilted. It does tilt, it says. This is the only thing that kind of put me off, but I'm not going to move it once I put it on, so I'm not too bothered. And to connect it to the Nintendo, you just take the HDMI that comes with the Nintendo Switch and you just stick it in the HDMI slot here. It's pretty simple. Again, this is already plugged in and it's just sitting on my desk. So that's more or less, that's that connected. It's pretty straightforward. As I say, it's already plugged in and it just sits and charges on my desk. And that's that. Now the buttons for this are at the bottom. There's 4 buttons. They're quite small. But as you can see from the bottom teardrop indicators here, it's pretty clear instructions. There's no remote, there's nothing. It's just basically these 4 buttons at the bottom. So it's quite handy once you get used to it. They're out the way, you don't see them. So this is the screen on my desk, pretty straightforward, and I've just tested on some games. So this is the Lego Jurassic Park game, pretty straightforward, no problems connecting it. As I say, you won't get any volume through this, so obviously I'm just going to stick the Joy-Cons onto my controller here. I find this a bit easier while it's plugged into the station. So it's easy to manage. You can control it pretty easily through your remotes, through the controllers. It's a pretty clear picture. As I say, I'm not a gamer, so I'm not really that bothered about how it looks. All the options at the bottom for like screen brightness, you can just change it up and down arrows. It's really pretty simple to manage and do. I wasn't too bothered. As I say, I'm not really fussed about how it actually looks or whatever. I did put it onto movie option. It gives you a couple of options as to how to have the screen brightness. As you can see, I'll just quickly run through them all. So you can set it to whatever you require. As I say, I just kept it on movie. It's not too bad, but yeah, I quite like it just as it is. It's only going to be for when I use, you know, Nintendo. I have watched YouTube on it and it was pretty easy. As you can see here, the audio is actually blanked out, so you actually don't have any option. But I just use my AirPods on my Nintendo Switch anyway. Sometimes I do actually just plug in my headphones through the jack point here. But yeah, if you're having it plugged in this way, the only way you're going to be able to hear anything is either through your wired headphones or Bluetooth. And that will come in through your Nintendo. Now, as you can see, it tilts, and then it tilts this when it turns off. But to be honest, unless you're tilting this screen constantly, it's not going to move. So here's a different game I just put on, I think it's Outlast, yeah. And then Rayman Chasing. So there's 3 different games with a really good colours. Once you tilt your screen, that's fine if you want to tilt it, but I just leave it as it is, and then that's it, all set up and ready to go. Thanks for watching, hope that was helpful.